that white men must speak out against unfair treatment of women and raised a historical lesson from the Holocaust about the need to speak up when people are attacked. Pretty dramatic. DEI hires like the Holocaust?
There are things that we can work with the Trump administration on, but, there are things that we can't.
Like what?
In setting up what amount to concentration camps for migrant children is not something that I will put up with.
Thank you very much. And politics is tough, and it's, in many cases, not a very nice world, but it is a nice world today, and I appreciate very much a transition that's so smooth.
A judge recuses himself from the alternate electors case in Arizona because the judge was kind of a fan of Kamala Harris. Not supposed to be that biased in a political case like this, where the defendants are being prosecuted because they're on Team Trump. Here's the story from the AP. This case, as we know, is being brought by Chris Mays. This is this woman here, our attorney general, kind of like our Michigan Dana Nessel, or you could say she's part of the same squad, kind of like Jenna Griswold and Jocelyn Benson, except she's in the AG position, not the Secretary of State, but part of the same crew. They all look the same, kind of sound the same, have the same policies, not that interesting. But she brought the case against these fake electors. And like the other fake elector cases, she's not creative, so she just copied and pasted everyone else's homework. That's what they do. One person comes up with something, usually, I think it's probably like Mark Elias or one of those guys, but then they all take it and run with it and copy and paste. But now we see the judge is kicking himself off the case after it's been discovered that he's not fair. Says a judge recused himself from presiding over Arizona's alternate electors case after an email surfaced in which he told fellow judges to speak out against attacks on Kamala Harris's campaign. Judge, you know better. In the August 29th email, Maricopa County Judge Bruce Cohen lamented that he didn't speak out when Harris was called a DEI hire. He believes that white men must speak out against unfair treatment of women and raised a historical lesson from the Holocaust about the need to speak up when people are attacked. Pretty dramatic. DEI hire is like the Holocaust? Cohen didn't specify who made the comment regarding Harris. He said the judge told his colleagues in the email, he blasts everybody, "We cannot allow our colleagues who identify as being a, quote, person of color to stand alone when there are those who may claim that their ascension was an equity hire rather than based solely upon exceptionalism." Cohen later wrote another email telling his fellow judges that he let his passion cloud his views. Yeah. And he apologized to anyone affected by his lapse in judgment in using an email forum that was not appropriate for unsolicited comments. Yeah, he caught himself. All right, that's good. At least he caught himself, right? We all get kind of fired up over the election. But you're a judge. You should start a podcast or something. Then you can run your mouth as much as you want. It's great. Lawyers for Republican State Senator Jake Hoffman, who faces 9 felony charges in the case, sought the judge's removal, arguing that Cohen bears a deep-seated personal political bias that overcame his professional judgment. Yeah. And that their client has lost confidence, and so he's gone. Hoffman is one of the 11 Republicans who submitted a document to Congress falsely declaring that Trump won, and of course they've been charged. Yeah, it's appropriate. He recused himself. Okay, so that's good. Good, we don't want biased judges. A spokesman for Chris Mays, the Attorney General, declined to comment. In a court record, Cohen said the original email was a stand for decency and didn't reflect a personal bias. It's not a bias. I'm just decent. Don't you love that? I'm not biased or partisan. I'm just a good person. Oh, okay. That's a great argument. Thank you, Your Honor, for that great argument. You win every argument that way. No, you're wrong. Why? Because I'm a good person? Guess that's the end of that conversation. Cohen, who was appointed to the bench by Janet Napolitano. Oh, Janet. Remember her? My Arizona friends. Most of the defendants had asked Cohen to throw out the charges using an Arizona law that bars baseless legal actions in a bid to silence critics, which is what this is. The law had long offered protections in civil cases, but was amended to cover people facing most criminal charges. Cohen recused himself before deciding whether to dismiss the case. Another judge will look at that. Defendants said that Mays, the AG, tried to use the charges to silence them for their free speech and that they didn't have evidence. Other people have already taken deals. Jenna Ellis worked with Giuliani, signed a cooperation agreement, and her charges got dismissed, Jenna. The remaining defendants have pleaded not guilty. Trump wasn't charged in Arizona, but he is an unindicted co-conspirator in the indictment. The whole thing's a scam. All right, so here was Attorney General Chris Mays. This is what she was saying about this, and she's out in the aftermath of the election, very upset about it. Here's Chris Mays.
There are things that we can work with the Trump administration on, but, there are things that we can't.
Like what?
In setting up what amount to concentration camps for migrant children is not something that I will put up with.
She's not going to allow concentration camps for kids. Is that what Trump's calling for?
No, I became a Democrat because the Trump administration started putting migrant kids in cages. I became a Democrat because of that, and I will not stand for it as the Attorney General.
No concentration camps, Chris Mays. Yeah.
State. I ran for Attorney General because of January 6th, and so we will not put up with any effort to undermine or overthrow our government.
These people are living in their own hysterical fantasy land.
And as you know, that is why we have the fake electors case. The smart thing to do
Zoom
would
out.
be
Thank
to
you.
target those individuals who are members of drug cartels, who are criminals, and remove them from the country.
All right, so not going to put kids in cages or whatever that is. Instead, they're going to let hundreds of thousands of kids be trafficked across the border and disappear into oblivion, never to be seen again. Well, there was this report that came out a few months ago that gave us the highlights on just how corrupt Chris Mays is. Here are the key findings, saying that when Chris Mays was in office, she committed a bunch of abuse. Here's a comprehensive report saying she unjustifiably says she threatened Mojave County Board of Supervisors with criminal and civil penalties if they voted against her. Nice. Sounds kind of insurrectionary. Attorney General Mays abused the legal system to go after her political opponents, currently doing that right now. She abused her power and her authority under the Consumer Fraud Act, issued consumer alerts filled with deception, fraud, and misrepresentations about healthcare services, right, to incentivize women to get animated about abortion. She misused public resources in town halls, threatening public nuisance lawsuits against farmers, and advocated for ballot measures relating to who advocated for certain measures. She refused to defend state laws. She did not defend an Arizona law, Arizona's Save Women's Sports Act. Just no, we're not going to defend that in court. She hindered the committee's work by failing to produce any records and information that we were seeking. Now, the people of Arizona deserve better, and so the full report goes into the details on exactly who this person is. But they're gearing up to stop President Trump. They do not want to work with him, and in fact, there are governors now who are creating entire organizations to stop him. But while that is happening, Trump is in the White House shaking hands with Joe Biden. Here's what that looked like.
Well, Mr. President-elect and former President,
Thank you.
Donald, congratulations.
Thank you.
And looking forward to having a, like we said, smooth transition. Do everything we can to make sure you're accommodated, what you need. And we're going to get a chance to talk about some of that today. So
Good.
Welcome
Thank you
back.
very much. And thank you very much. And politics is tough, and it's in many cases not a very nice world, but it is a nice world today, and I appreciate it very much. A transition that's so smooth, it'll be as smooth as it can get, and I very much appreciate that, Jim.
You're welcome. Thank you all.
All right, so the media's going wild. Trump returns to the White House. They said never again. Never again. There he is, looking good next to the roaring fire, soon to be back in charge. And the media doesn't sound happy about it. Shooing him out as usual. So another good event. Trump's back. Biden seemed pretty happy. Didn't seem like he was too nervous that American democracy was going to fall or falter, because none of that was true. That was all campaign bluster. Now that Trump is back in charge, Joe Biden can go retire and let the adults govern the country.